The heat that punished the east last week has finally broken. But it has not disappeared. It has simply moved. A powerful dome of high pressure is now building over the west. It is forming out of the Rockies and pushing into the nation's middle. Forecasters call it a heat dome, a lid that traps hot air it parks over a region and keeps that heat from escaping. This week, that lid is settling over the central United States. The National Weather Service expects the hottest, driest air over the northern plains. Montana and the Dakotas sit closest to the core of it. Farther west, the heat is even more stubborn and dangerous. Parts of the Northwest and Great Basin face building fire danger. Dry ground and soaring temperatures are a difficult, risky combination. Crews out west are already stretched thin from earlier summer fires. Even a single spark can spread quickly in these conditions. If you live out west, this is the week to stay alert. For most of the country, though, the story is very different. This is not the brutal, record-breaking heat of the past week. Forecasters describe this stretch as hot, but far more manageable. On Monday, roughly 160 million people felt 90 degrees, but only about 20 million reached the 100-degree mark. Compare that to the Northeast, just days ago near record levels. Cities like Philadelphia and Washington touched the low 100s. That extreme has now eased and relief has arrived in the east. A slow-moving area of low pressure is sitting off New England. It is pulling cooler air and steady rain into the Northeast after a week of dangerous heat that change feels welcome. But it comes with its own hazard worth watching closely. Forecasters are tracking a real risk of severe storms this week. The Storm Prediction Center has flagged parts of New England Tuesday, brings a favorable setup for strong afternoon thunderstorms there. Damaging wind gusts are the main concern forecasters have identified. Farther inland, the storm threat stretches across a wide zone. From Texas north into Wisconsin, a dozen states face some risk. A ridge of high pressure out west is steering this setup. These storms feed on heat and moisture. Streaming up from the Gulf, they tend to fire up in the afternoon and evening. An isolated tornado cannot be ruled out, but is not favored. The bigger threats are damaging winds, hail, and heavy downpours. Where storms train over the same area, flooding becomes possible. Several inches of rain could fall in parts of the plains. Forecasters warn that flash flooding is the hidden danger here. It can rise quickly, especially on roads and low ground. Never drive through water covering a road you cannot judge. The severe risk does not simply end on Tuesday. Either more storms are expected across the east and north-central states. That threat is likely to continue through at least Thursday. So what does all of this mean for your week? If you are out, west, watch the heat and fire risk hydrate limit time outdoors and follow local warnings closely. Still warm nights make it harder for your body to recover. In the central states, keep an eye on afternoon storms. A calm morning can turn into a dangerous evening quickly. In the northeast, enjoy the cooler air, but respect the rain. Lightning remains a serious danger near any thunderstorm. At the very first rumble of thunder, move indoors. Behind all of this sits a larger pattern. Taking shape, a strengthening El Niño is slowly reshaping the season ahead. Forecasters say its bigger impact arrives later this year into fall and winter. It could shift storm tracks nationwide. For now, its clearest effects are still weeks away. This week, the real story is the shifting heat and storms. The pattern is acting like a seesaw across the country. Hot and dry in the west, cooler and stormier in the east, and that balance can tip again as the days go on. The safest move is to check the forecast where you live. Conditions. This time of year can change within a single afternoon. For official warnings, always rely on the National Weather Service and follow your local emergency management for any real decisions. They are your best source when a storm turns severe. The heat has moved, but the weather story is far from over. Stay aware, stay prepared, and keep watching the sky.